Welcome to our podcast about the Lent season. The purpose of this podcast is to help parents really truly celebrate and participate in the Lent season during the time that the entire church is doing it. So the entire church is going to be invited into this time, and we really want to make sure that kids are part of that, right? Because there's no junior Holy Spirit. So we want to make sure that whatever God is teaching us in the adult level, we are bringing to the kids as well. Now, parents, if you are an elementary parent and you have not had a chance to listen to the God Encounter podcast for February, please make sure you do, because that has some a little bit different information about what we're doing, and it also includes the Lent season. Okay, so this is for all the families. We're really excited because anyone who is 4 and older is going to get a calendar and a countdown for that. And I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. So the reason why I'm including everyone in this is because even the younger kids can participate in Lent. So some of you might be saying, Lent? Okay, I've heard about it. I don't know a thing about it. And some of you might be saying, Lent, isn't that like a super religiosity thing? And now you're scaring me. Are we going down that road? And it's like, no, not at all. Lent is simply the pause in the year and turning aside. Remember, that's what our word is for our church this year, is truly taking time to really pause, turn aside, and say, God, what are you saying? And what are you wanting to do in me? So Lent is a time of 40 days before Easter. And so it's the 40 days before Easter. And some of you may be familiar with some of these terms of Ash Wednesday. And so on Ash Wednesday in February, is when it starts the 40-day countdown to the resurrection. And how fun. Like, we do that for Christmas, right? We have this Advent calendar, we count down. It's Christmas, it's Jesus's birthday. Well, why not do that for the Resurrection Sunday? I mean, that's the biggest thing of the year we can celebrate. And that's the whole reason why we are here today. So Lent is that 40-day time to represent the 40 days of Jesus fasting in the desert, when he was in the wilderness fasting for 40 days. That's where we get that 40 days. It wasn't just this made up time. And so we take those 40 days to partner with what Jesus did. And he gave up a lot to be in the wilderness for 40 days. And yet, if you think about it, what happened after he came out of the wilderness? Check it out if you're not sure. Look it up and read in the Gospels about what happened. After he was done for 40 days of fasting, he had been tempted by the devil. It got really rough. He won. He had the victory. And then he came, and then just miracle after miracle, and the parables came out, and all the great things that he did came out of that really hard 40 days. So can we also trust that whatever is really hard for us, whatever we give up, whatever we're going to do more than normal during that Lent season, can we trust that on the other side, we're going to have a really neat testimony of what God did in us, and even what God will do in the people around us, our families especially, and our kids. So trust that we're just not going to do this and try it out and hope the kids get it. It's like, let's have expectation that our kids are genuinely going to hear from the Holy Spirit. They're genuinely going to understand more of giving up things because Christ gave up himself for us. So that is the whole purpose and direction of what Lent is going to be for our church. And Andrew will give us much more for us adults, but that's for us kids. So again, we want to partner with them. So how do I lead my family in Lent for 40 days? 40 days is a long time for kids. Okay. So one of the great things to help kids is to have something physical that they can use to count down or count up, or however you would like to say it. So you can see on the screen here that we will actually provide every family that has a 4-year-old and up to 5th grade this countdown calendar. So it's 40 days from Ash Wednesday to Resurrection Sunday. And every day you will have a sticker that has just a theme that you can focus on that day. And then it has a Bible verse that you can read. Really simple. They can color it. You can see they can color it. They can color it and just really have fun, and if you have multiple children, have each of them take a turn, picking off the sticker. And that day it's, so and so's job to do it. Then the next day it's so and so's job. And if they're old enough to read it, have them look up the verse and read it. It's good to practice looking up those verses and reading them. So give them the opportunity if they know how. And if not, help them, teach them how to do that. Okay, so one of the best ways to utilize this countdown calendar is to have a routine. And if you do more things than just the calendar, that's great. Whatever you want. It can be very simple or it can be very in-depth. So you do what's best for your family and especially what's age appropriate. So have a routine. So for instance, maybe it's just best for you to post it somewhere in the kitchen. And then every morning during breakfast, as you're getting ready for school or just for the day, you do it at breakfast time. Or maybe your kids do better or you do better in the evening before bedtime. Have it in their bedroom, have it in somebody's bedroom, and take time in the evening to do that. Maybe if you only have little ones, maybe you only have a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old that doesn't attend school, maybe you do it right before nap time or rest time, or maybe right after when they're chilled out and rested. So, you just kind of figure out what works best for your family. You are going to see in the description below some links for activities for Lent and different things that can kind of help you. There's crafts and different ideas. And of course, Pinterest has great things too that you can just look up, even with the things that we didn't include. So just go ahead and check those out and see if there's anything that you'd like to do. Now, in a couple months, we will definitely be giving you some information on how to celebrate Easter with your kids, because that's so much fun. There's also some great books out there. I picked up this one, and it's literally a daily devotional for 40 days and it's meant for your children. And so it's just a real quick give a Bible verse, a theme, and a symbol, which is really cute. So it actually shows a picture of a symbol of what that day can mean. So this is something else if you wanted to go more into depth. It has Bible verses and a prayer and some explanation of what each day can bring. So that's just a suggestion as well. Now in the younger kids, the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds and the kindergarten classes will all be coloring on Sunday pages out of this coloring book. And this is really fun. It just gives instruction on the different parts of Lent, why we do it, and the kids will color it and the teachers will talk about it with them. And then it would be great if then you take them home and, throw them up on your refrigerator really fast so you don't forget about them. And then in a couple of days, revisit it. Say, oh yeah, let's talk about this part of Lent, and let those coloring pages, because there's words down below to kind of talk about things. And you let that be a springboard for what you can talk about with your kids. Okay, so you're going to have lots of questions, I'm sure, so feel free to reach out to me or the Antioch Kids team with any help that you need or support. We are so excited to do this Lent season together and to see God do great things in our kids. Remember, have your expectations up here for your kids, and they'll meet them. They really will meet your expectations, because they automatically hear from God so much better than we do. And we can be jealous and challenged by that. Just like, yes, in a good way. How can we also be listening? So come together and pray about it. Maybe all together you want to do something together as a family for Lent. Maybe you want it to be individual. Maybe your kids are old enough to say, I want to give up this, and then another kid wants to do something totally different. Just listen to the Holy Spirit and decide what's best for your family. It's going to be great. We're going to just have so much fun seeing what God does all the way on the other side of Resurrection Sunday. All right, you guys have a great time with this time of rejoicing and counting down to Resurrection Sunday.